Hey, welcome back to the World Cup coverage. To my World Cup coverage, our World Cup coverage. Today I bring you round 15 versus Jeff Fiszbein. Um, Recently, I guess in post-pandemic Scrabble tournaments, I've had a lot of difficulty beating Jeff Fiszbein. I played him in New Orleans a couple times in the 2022 Crescent City Cup in January. And both times he won by like 15 points. We both scored like 350 or around that amount. So yeah, those games kind of sucked. And yeah, I don't know. I thought I had cracked the code in 2019 when I think I was able to defeat him somewhat easily in a national championship or something. But anyways, it's back to it seemed like it was back to square one against him. And this is my opening rack. Two options here: playing CHOC, Chalk, or Joy. Both options are very close in value. There's also this weird idea of playing Chalk with the second C on the star. Let's put that vertically for you guys. Better visualization. Idea being that sometimes Jeff will make an overlapping play, making HA, and I might get the J spot, and also just generally setting up Joy for 25, nothing else if Jeff plays from the C. So it has some options to score pretty well next turn, but it just gives a bit too much back immediately to Jeff. And knowing human play, the comebacks that I might get after a random play that's just based on point value and leave are less likely to occur against a human being. A human being might make a more defensive play and not give me the same options that are being predicted. One of the pitfalls of our engine evaluation is that it plays like a computer. When it simulates, it doesn't play like a human being. In any case, even if you simulate this, the placement of the C on the star simulates a couple points worse than the O on the star regular placement. Thought it was really cool that chocolatey could happen, or chocolates, or whatever. This obviously takes a K hook and an S hook, so not ideal, but yeah, the other option is Joy. Joy is perfectly reasonable play. I just chose Chalk this time. Mostly because my game plan against a lot of the, I guess, less less high rated folks in the division, such as Jeff, is to not open myself up to bad draws as much. So by keeping four consonants, I'm opening myself up to bad draws a bit more than by keeping JF and a Y, even though both leaves are pretty terrible. So I play Chalk. Jeff responds with Caw for 16. And here I don't really have many options other than just Faye. I could play Aji, but I felt the scoring spot it gave back was just not worth giving back. So yeah, I went with Faye. Figured that I could get a nice J play potentially next turn at 4J. At 4J, cool. With Jaw and like maybe AY. Yeah, it's well worth it over Aji. Over here, Jeff responds with Asunder for 80 points. And now I'm down 50. So I kept Agi with an E, kept that and drew OIT, and here I just play Aji for 22. I think I've just played it here, yeah. And I considered playing Idiot. I don't think I saw or considered Iodate. The J I leave just sucks. But here I felt the need to play off the J and try and open the board a little bit. I'm definitely in a bad position already. On move 3 after this bingo. Yeah. I could keep the J again and maybe play like Jar or Raj next turn or something. I don't really know. I think I definitely considered Idiot for a decent amount of time, but I just didn't really see it. And I don't think playing Aji here makes any sense. Gives back more scoring, gives back an H hook that I'm not really planning on drawing. But I guess there's something to be said about not playing this Aji to open up an S hook I don't have and sort of block the lane, the K9 lane. So yeah, that might be an issue. But it seems like Idiot's doing really well on a sim. The details are saying our next turn, we score decently. We of course never bingo, but opponent scores a lot less. And we can maybe just hold back another turn and open the board that way. So yeah, maybe keeping my J is the way again. Yeah. So yeah, Idiot's doing reasonably well in a sim. I would like to wait a little bit longer. And also M2 Aji doing better. Could just be because I get the overlaps pretty often. Like I already have the O for Joe, the T for AIT. Yes, I can see it. Not really sure. I also considered like trying to set up my J with like AI or something ridiculous. Making jar and JO possibilities with OI. Yeah, kind of fascinating position where I'm in quite the disadvantage, and seems my best option is just to like balance my rack and not worry about bingoing next turn. I don't know. Very interesting stuff. Could also just play jar immediately, but the leave is just horrendous. I think I would definitely play Idiot keeping jar as a possibility before playing jar keeping Idiot as a possibility. But yeah, looks like my play is just not good. Not good at all. After almost 3,000 iterations, I can pretty much see that yeah, I made a mistake. Yeah, I'm still gonna leave it as questionable because I'm just kind of confused. Anyways, Jeff, oops, responds with QIS 44, and I'm down 68. And again, nothing to show for. Luckily, I'm able to draw into scoring tiles to play Vow, but OW is better valuation. Wow, AEITV. That's probably not going to show through into the simulation. Because AEITV, I mean, it works with like floaters if there's like an N or an R on the board to play through, or if there are just lanes to play 7-letter words. But since there aren't any lanes, I think it's probably just the right call to take the extra points and not keep a V. So yeah, Vow comes down. And Jeff exchanges 4, so giving me a little bit of breathing room. And I draw into Periapt. 7-letter word, doesn't fit on the board. And I decided to play Pipe rather than Pipa. So my reasoning here for playing Pipe instead of Pipa is after Pipe, I'm giving myself the R hook and the T hook to use next turn, and with Pipa I have nothing. There's no hooks, so felt like it was a good idea to be proactive, especially since only one E has been played in this game. So drawing an E was an extremely high likelihood. Sometimes you really don't need to worry about your E, even though it's such a good letter. So pipe comes down, and of course the flip side, double edge, is that gives Jeff the same hooks, same higher likelihood to be able to hook. And he plays Blight, takes advantage. And here I had no idea what to do. I played Hist 41. I thought there might be some way to do something else, but it seems like that's my best option. Just keeping on scoring and keeping duplicate R really sucks. I could keep the S hook alive with something like Har, which also sets up another S hook actually. So I'm gonna put that in the sim and see how it does. Yeah, it might make a lot more sense to do that, even though it sacrifices 20 points. It creates multiple S hooks. The Shaw hook is now there, the Blight's hook, and I have one of the last two S's. I don't think I saw this. Very hard four-letter word to see, H-A-A. Yeah, I really think something like this was a good idea. Obviously, I saw something like R-A-H, but only scoring 17 didn't seem worth it. It might still be worth it. I mean, considering Har is valued like 5 higher in simulation. I make R-A-H, the problem is I'm not creating another S hook, so yeah, I think I made another mistake. Wow. Yeah, leaves S hooks on the board. Let's call it a medium mistake. So Hist comes down. Jeff plays Groat, and he's just seemingly dominating. Yeah, like feeling kind of like I can't do anything. So I play Drab. Just trying to balance my rack. Not really sure what to do next, but I'm only down 15 points, so I don't necessarily need a bingo, depending on what Jeff is able to come up with. And here I think he plays B for 5. Struggling with E's, and here I miss Veranda. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is yet another really bad play on my part. This isn't so bad playing Taverna. The main difference is 2 points, better leave, and not giving back the O column or the M column stuff. And yeah, obviously after the play of BEE, Jeff's very unlikely to have any scoring tiles, especially not the X. So this isn't that bad, but it's definitely a stupid miss. I should just see Veranda. If I see Taverno, why don't I see Veranda? But luckily Jeff isn't able to take full advantage, just based on his range. That makes sense. Plays MAE for 19. And again, I get into this weird position where I have no idea what to do. Here, I was pretty sure I made a really bad mistake, actually. I was quite frustrated here, not being able to do anything. I drew the blank. He blocked Fax, but I was like, okay, well, score is close. I can play Fang here and set up my X potentially for next turn. It's not super likely to stay there, but it's a possibility. But I completely missed this play of Defi, which is just far and away better than everything else. Brings me ahead by 2 points. I keep the blank. The X has some value potentially. If I draw an I could play XI. If he opens the board, I can take advantage of that with the X. And yeah, right after I played Fang, I noticed that I had Diffie, and I was really pissed off. I was like, wow, I might have just blown the game. Little did I know I'd already made 3 blunders this game with Aji. I mean, I don't even know if pipe is the right play. I didn't even simulate it. Hist and Taverna, all mistakes. Yeah. 13L. And yeah, I play Fang. And what happens here is Jeff plays Den. So it doesn't do anything to this X spot. Actually opens a new spot. But sadly, I don't draw a vowel. I mean, I didn't deserve to, but it would have been nice anyway. And I have to play tax, leave this D open, and Jeff takes advantage. Plays looked for 36, and now he's ahead 37 points, and things aren't looking so tremendous here, even though I've finally drawn a couple vowels. I could play trodden, but I allowed to play odd, and again, score is close. I don't necessarily need to bingo, but this is a nice way to balance the rack. Not open such an easy lane to hit, and by keeping the TE to underlap with lot and ode, I'm setting myself up for potential success. So odd comes down, Jeff plays Zen, scoring some points, and I draw the second blank. And now I have this rack, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's just a million bingos here. I can play something like Pratique. And of course, I was looking for like crazy words like to the O and like huge overlaps here, but all I came up with were some 72 pointers. Yeah, I did see Surfit here. Didn't think it was worth taking extra point, open a triple. And with 18 unseen tiles, I will be ahead decently, but I could be drawing some junk. And if Jeff's able to make a scoring play, I might actually not have enough to win the game. So I have no idea. This would take forever to simulate. My decision to play Burkite was based on just not giving Jeff amazingly good tiles to use for bingos. But maybe mixture would be even better for that reason. Giving an M, an I, and an X rather than giving the R of Burkite. So yeah, maybe something like if I generate some more choices, there's a million bingos here. But yeah, Neutrino and Requinto actually play to the O, but they only score 71. So when I started looking to the O, I just realized that, wait, that's only going to score 71. A bingo here is going to score 72 and have better placement, give back less comeback bingos to Jeff. So yeah, I decided to play at 3C, but saw Requite. Yeah, it's just a million options. But I probably shouldn't be giving this R back. I'll put questionable here. Yeah, mixture might seem like but giving the U instead of the I actually might make a big difference between Burkite and mixture. And before I show you guys Jeff's rack or Jeff's play, I want to show you what I drew. And when I drew these letters, being up 22 points with 4 in the bag, I was immediately just like, wow, I'm going to lose this game, aren't I? I have pretty much the most terrible possible letters here. I guess having LL instead of NN is worse. There's obviously worse than this, but this is pretty bad. Um, and then I was like, well, actually, hold on a second. I see these L's unseen. I see some potential high scoring plays at 4A, like Glom or Loom. And those plays give me an 8-letter word of linguini. And I sort of like, am I going to win this game after drawing this crap and getting linguini to go out? Is that what's going to happen? Um, and I saw Jeff was considering a lot of 4-tile plays, just the way he was, organizing the tiles on his rack. It did seem like he was considering some 4-tile plays, and I don't really know what those were. And I also was like, well, I have all the eyes to underlap QI at least, so that's also a benefit. And yeah, finally, Jeff made a play, and he played UG, and I was really worried before he played this because if he has the M, he's probably going to be able to win. The M is just like a fantastic tile. The M and the S, obviously. He can just score with and yeah, just the M is just going to be super important here. He plays UG for 9, and I assume he was going for a 6-letter word at 8A and trying not to empty the bag. So this play made some sense. And I have my Inguini rack. And I see unseen, I see a lot of potentially disastrous plays. So if I give all of the letters here, I wasn't super worried about a bingo here, actually. I saw YLM, I think, was a big threat. I saw Louis. And yeah, I was really worried about getting outscored, of course, with my terrible letters of Inguini, but I felt like I had to just score as best I could with Jin for 21 and hope that that was enough. But yeah, it was looking pretty rough because if I play Jin for 21, I'm going up 34 points and leaving myself with IINU, drawing 2 tiles. And if those tiles are like LO or RO or something like that, Jeff's going to be able to make an out sequence that scores around probably 40 points in 2 turns. And yeah, being ahead by 34, that means that I'm going to have to make a play that that gives me a total of 6 points when you count the play and you count my tiles that are going to Jeff after he goes out. Those tiles are duplicated by, or well, multiplied by 2, and then given to the opponent when the game ends. And yeah, it was sort of worrisome that he could score enough with an out sequence that would outrun anything I could do. Wow, it's liking some very weird plays here. I don't really get these plays at all. So yeah, I'm not going to really trust the sim results here. But yeah, what ended up happening is I ended up drawing an M and an L, and I was like, oh my god, I think I just won this game because I drew this M. Doesn't look like Jeff has enough here, and I'm going to be able to score with this M and win, but he has a win. And I didn't see this over the board. He didn't see it either, but his play of UG, allowing him to play Ruffy, is going to score just enough for him to win the game after I try to block his outplays of lose and slow, but he has 7 points, and he's going to win by 2 points if he plays Ruffy, which is insane. And if I try something like Mooney, he plays lose to win, or soul or slow, or yeah. And that wins by even more. It wins by 3 points. So I did not see that he could do this. And had he played this, I definitely would have challenged, because I would have calculated that it would win the game, and I wouldn't know for sure if Ruffy is valid with the Y or if it's only valid IE. Turns out I think it's valid both ways. And yeah, that's pretty insane. And it's even more insane. Okay, it's actually only valid with the Y in NWL. I did not know that. I should know that. But yeah, even more insane that when you see what actually happened in the next game I played against Jeff at the National Scrabble Championship, which is now called the Scrabble Players Championship. You guys are gonna like that game too, where Jeff actually had in this game Jeff had a winning endgame play, and something similar occurred in that other game. But I'll let you guys wait on that one. And by the time I get to that game, you're probably gonna have forgotten I said this. But he plays Louise for 32, which I expected. I get to play Lynam. He plays Raw, and he loses by 20. And he was livid. He was like, "You drew that damn M. I can't believe you drew that M. It was just the M. The M decided the game." And I was sitting there like, dude, I drew fucking Inguini. What are you talking about? But yeah, very lucky that I drew the M after emptying the bag, for sure. And based on the mistakes I made this game, don't feel like I deserve this win, but who knows? Maybe Jeff made some worse mistakes. I mean, I do know that he made the worst mistake of the game by missing his win, but other than that, I mean, that's a really, really tough find of Ruffy. Other than that, I don't have his racks, so can't judge that. I can only judge my own moves, and based on my own moves, not very impressed with this game. Definitely not very well played. And yeah, I guess that's it for me. That was one game. I might have rambled a bit, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna get through these games. I'm glad I remembered what happened in this game though. And yeah, I'll try to bring you guys more games, maybe like 2 games a day or something, depending on what I'm able to record. And I'm hoping you guys are still enjoying the World Cup games, but if you guys want me to fast forward or something, let me know. But I think I'm going to go through all of them as planned. So yeah, see you guys next episode.